way to help each other.
Earlier today, I spoke with
this therapeutic approach. Meanwhile, officials want to remind drivers that it's illegal.
The Diagnostic and Statistical Manual on Mental Disorders released an updated rule book. You're able to recover if you're going through this mental illness.
The town of Troy has a population of about 1,000 people, so everyone knows their neighbors. The nurse, Casey Hickox, is not infected with Ebola.
And tomorrow's the big day for the largest race in the Northeast.
Katie just has so much courage and tenacity to be able to share her story as she's currently battling anorexia nervosa.
Behavior and interaction with food. Everybody who's super thin doesn't mean they have anorexia nervosa.
To those who are underinsured or uninsured, Chris, the announcement came 12 hours ago and people are still in shock and disbelief. VERSO paper made the announcement that they will be closing the BUCKSPORT mill. A lot of officials are saying it's so important that you clear your car. So here we have a brush, and earlier this morning we cleared the entire roof of the news car. Chris, the wind is biting, my face hurts, my hands are already numb. I've only been out here for just a few minutes. But imagine if you're homeless. Many people are expected to come out to see Governor LePage's statewide tour to ask questions about his comprehensive tax reform and relief plan. And here's her dog, Xena. Can you share with me, you've been on this trail of doing the 250-mile race multiple times. What is it like? What is the terrain like out there? Some of Brooke's friends say this vigil is to light up the darkness after losing a friend and a sorority sister 1 year ago. Oil heating drivers are using is being able to put their hands over the vent to just warm up after being outside and filling a tank. At least 40 students gathered at Mescalonsky High School earlier today. Bar Harbor Fire Chief says they're looking to other companies to find the full body suits for their department. As of now, the earliest they can get the back-ordered suits is in January. A lot of shoppers had that attitude. They were just happy to get out of the cold when Cabela's opened at 5 a.m. this morning. Well, in the last 10 minutes, there's been more of this freezing rain and light snow that's been coming down. And when we spoke with Bangor,
I don't know, it's like my throat is like tightening up.
Katie Colby is a single mother with a mental illness called anorexia nervosa. After 18 years, her condition has taken a deadly turn.
Because I'm scared that touching the food is going to make me gain. Sounds crazy, but I feel just touching food with my bare hands, I'm going to gain weight.
So Katie wears latex gloves.
There's a chance that I'm going to have to touch food.
It's a daily struggle to prepare meals for her 2 boys and niece.
It's hard, but I mean, he likes it, and I mean, because something's hard for me, I don't deprive, my kids. I try to sit with the uncomfortable feeling.
She turns her body numb and becomes detached from her feelings when she is in the presence of food. You can see how difficult it is for her to even eat a carrot.
do you even taste it?
Yes. I don't want to.
And now Katie's body's having trouble keeping things in. She says she's surviving on 3 insured drinks a day and a cup of soup. Doctors believe her eating disorder became a coping mechanism for how she endured the sexual, physical, and verbal abuse starting at the age of 3.
My trauma involved food. It was used basically to keep me quiet. So to me, it's a bad thing. I'm having a tough day, a lot of flashbacks. It's a very tough day with my eating disorder.
When Katie was 20, she was ordered by the court to go to a hospital for inpatient treatment. She was there for 11 months seeking intensive care while being on a feeding tube to help sustain her.
And I kept pulling it out, and they threatened me that they would put it in surgically. And I think it was just, I was so angry, and then having somebody try to take that control. I couldn't control what was going in, they did.
Being in the psychiatric hospital, Katie says she used up her 190 days of Medicare lifetime inpatient treatment. That was 18 years ago, and now She says Medicare has denied any coverage of inpatient treatment because she'll exceed her mental health days. Katie also has Maine Care, but it only covers Maine's only treatment facility, Mercy Hospital, where she failed the program twice.
When you say it hurts, does it hurt to take, like to move kind of hurt, or it hurts?
Her team of doctors, including Dr. Megan Mamela, has been fighting Katie's insurance to find an inpatient center willing to treat her PTSD and eating disorder.
How much water did you drink?
Recently, they found a bed available for her at Walden Behavioral Center in Massachusetts. But she says Maine Care denied it.
It's absolutely maddening. It's frustrating. It feels hopeless as a provider. I mean, I care a lot about Katie. Any thoughts, concerns, anything you want to know that we've reached the end of what we can do as a treatment team for her and feel like there's no hope beyond that is sad.
But being denied treatment is like, well, is it really that bad? My providers say it's that bad. But yet, I can't get into treatment.
Katie could die of this supposed psychiatric illness. Katie could, her heart could stop working. Katie could, I worry, that's my biggest worry, is that Katie could die.
Dr. Mamela says insurance only looks at eating disorders as a mental illness, even though there is so much physical damage done to her body.
Once it gets to the point where Katie becomes mind, body, spirit, the whole thing is, you cannot ignore the damage that it does physically to their bodies.
And a lot of lightheadedness, a lot of dizziness. Moving the body is a chore. Breathing's a chore.
Without treatment, doctors say they don't know how much longer Katie has.
To be able to be back, to be that active parent, and to be able to live fully. I want that. I want to be able to be happy and to be there for my kids. And without treatment, time will only tell.
This picture was taken after she had us look at each other and just stand there and stare at each other, and it just, the emotion that came over me was like just at my wedding day, looking into his eyes, and it just.
Kelly Dodge says her husband, Corey, took her breath away. He was a father, soldier, and decorated police officer who loved helping those in need.
I tell people, like, you're privileged to know him, but I was honored to be loved by him.
Corey was a man who loved his family unconditionally and also felt pride for his country. That's why he felt called to serve.
He goes, it's part of me. He goes, it's just, I have to do it. He goes, I love my family. He goes, but he goes, I'm making a difference. He goes, not much of a difference right now. He goes, but I'm making a difference. And he goes, and I'm just providing for my family.
Corey Dodge worked as a security guard for DynCorp International, providing safety to managers along with American and Afghan colonels. Saturday, Kelly found out Corey was killed by terrorists in a roadside bomb that went off outside a hospital in Kabul.
He's put himself like right in the line of danger to try to help someone else, to protect someone else from getting hurt. And I'm just like, why do you do that? I'm like, we need you at home. He goes, what do you want me to do? He goes, that's what I'm there for. He goes, I would sacrifice myself to make sure someone else got home. I'm like, but we need you home. He goes, everybody needs somebody home.
Corey had several tours in Afghanistan. He was just home last month with his family. The Dodges will carry Corey in their hearts, knowing he died a hero. His mother, Letha, says he had the biggest heart.
I can't even describe it. He was just an unreal son. He was loving, so loving. He was a loving son.
And you can see on his face how proud he was of doing what he was doing. And that one, I mean, he was so proud of that too.
And he will be remembered that way, proud to serve his local community as a police officer and his country as a U.S. contractor.
And this little guy looks just like his daddy.
In Dexter,
Makes up our family.
Kaitlyn Chana, News Center.
You're a happy guy. Happy guy. There's a disconnect between our body and our head. So we're living in our head, we're living in our intellect, and the body has just become an it.
For those struggling with eating disorders, their body becomes the enemy, and licensed therapist and equine specialist Åsa Gustafsson helps clients get reconnected with their emotions through horses.
Just go ahead and just take him for a walk.
It's centered around building a relationship and having patients communicate their thoughts through body language, movement, and posture.
I often take a step back, you know, and let them have the relationship. We heal in relationship. So oftentimes it's the client and the horse doing this dance of like touching and then moving away.
Åsa works with many people suffering from mental illnesses, including eating disorders, PTSD. Meanwhile, for Ben Soda, he's working on becoming sober. At 23 years old, he lives in fear of his reoccurring past.
It's kind of like the feeling, I guess, of impending doom, though. It's like you feel good for a while and you just kind of know that it's going to end eventually.
Ben has been working with the horse Sammy for several months, and everything he thinks, feels, and does sends out a message to the horse.
Go ahead and take a couple of really deep breaths. I really see myself as the co-therapist and the horse is like the main therapist.
Åsa can empathize with her clients when they choose destructive coping measures to release their feelings. Because in her 20s, she was abusing drugs, alcohol, and suffering from the eating disorder, anorexia nervosa.
I'm smiling in all these pictures, and yet, like, I look dead.
As she began her recovery journey, she transferred eating disorders, becoming bulimic, and her way of releasing her emotions was through poetry.
A room full of emptiness, of feelings dark and sad, represents to me our world so extremely cold and bad.
And that's how Ben feels right now, lost and out of control in his cold life.
We're gonna do something different with him to have him kind of step into control.
Horses speak a universal language. Sammy's behavior is giving Åsa feedback on how Ben lives his life.
There you go. And if he comes in closer to you, you're gonna point that towards his shoulder.
Canter.
And you're gonna keep breathing. Sammy keeps asking you to be a leader. There you go, and tell him good boy.
Good boy, Sammy. Good job.
You want to learn about yourself? Go be with the horse and watch what he does, because he's just mirroring you and your insides. The horse will help with all the stuff that comes up, all the fears. I mean, there's just so many layers of fears and pain that are underneath this.
Sammy really noticed that, I guess he wasn't the center of my attention. And yeah, I had to make him the center of my attention.
Taking really big breaths.
Once Ben took control of the situation, he felt calm and he was able to feel what's happening internally.
Good. Good
boy,
job.
Sammy.
And you want to feel your body because you're realizing your horse, when you're on him, is responding to your body. So your body starts to become this kind of cool tool.
When I start to feel anxious or something, just to be able to just see the emotions for what they are. Just remember how easy it is to be calm.
Ben feels this impending doom of a storm is dissipating, yet he recognizes he still has more work to do.
Like that, Sammy?
It's so powerful, you know? It's like whether it's a kid, adolescent, an adult, to see someone fully embrace who they are, I think it's the most beautiful thing in the world. Totally right. Yeah, it's why I do what I do.
There will be 3 more debates before November 14th. Many people have a heavy heart in Bangor this evening. Medical experts say to congratulate employees for their hard work and years of dedication. But that is not the case this morning. It's more of that.